Namaste everyone. You guys are tuned into Web Semester. I'm Harsh and today we're going to talk about fragrances. The fragrance that we're going to talk about today is Parfums De Marly Layton. This is probably one of the most hyped niche fragrance right now in the community. This is how the presentation looks: a sleek, elegant, sophisticated bottle. A blue bottle basically with a silver metallic cap. The bottle looks pretty solid. The cap is pretty heavy. It feels bulky in the weight. Probably the weight of cap and the weight of bottle is equivalent. Now let's take a look at the atomizer. Decent atomizer, nothing great, but yeah, work, sprays a great amount of juice. I got reminded of how Layton smells like. This to me is sophistication in a bottle. This to me is basically the perfume a CEO would wear. This to me is basically a perfume you would wear if you're your boss, if you want a bossy personality, if you want to go around like commanding people. This is the fragrance I suggest you guys wear. Let me dissect the fragrance. Let me break down what makes Parfums De Marly Layton so great, so mass appealing. It's a compliment monster, by the way, guys. Yeah, so let's get into it. If we spray Layton for the very first time, if I smell it, the thing that comes to my mind, like the notes that I'm reminded of instantly, are two, which is basically first is apple and the second one is lavender, followed with some hints of spices. Yeah, mostly spices. So if you smell Layton for the very first time, the very first whiff of Layton, you would get a menthol-like smell. The smell which is basically similar to reminiscent of what you smell in a Vicks Vapor Rub. Some people might get offended from that smell, the Vicks Vapor Rub smell, the menthol smell, but yeah, this is a very unique, sophisticated Vicks Vapor Rub smell. It's not the main DNA, main functionality of this fragrance. It stays there for some 30 to 35 minutes and then it goes away, and then Layton develops into what Layton is, what people love Layton for. So if I have to dissect the fragrance, if I want to distinguish the fragrance, this fragrance is a juxtaposition of two different categories of fragrances. One is warm and spicy and the other one is fresh. So the opening here is fresh because of the lavender and the apple. At the same time, it's warm and spicy because of the spices that are being used here. So it's a juxtaposition of two different things. Once the menthol-like smell gets settled down, it turns into a smooth, flowery, vanillic type of scent. The mid notes of this fragrance, mostly I get some kinds of flowers and geranium and stuff like that, but it's mostly a bit of floral. So starting from a very fresh and warm spicy mixture, it slowly turns down itself into a bit of floral scent profile. Once it starts to dry down at 3.5 hours mark, that's where the DNA of Layton really shines. That's where the magic of Layton happens. That's where people love Layton. So after the 3 hours mark, the fragrance turns a bit powdery. It kind of reminds you of some woody sandalwood kind of notes. The notes that I pursue mainly in the dry down of this fragrance are cardamom, vanilla, sandalwood, and patchouli. Sandalwood I can smell in the top notes as well, as I'm a huge fan of sandalwood. That's why I can say that this sandalwood is a naturally used sandalwood. I'm not sure if it's a Mysore sandalwood or some other sandalwood, but this is a natural sandalwood for sure. This is not an artificial sandalwood at all. This is, by the way, as I mentioned, that this has a bunch of vanilla. A lot of vanilla is present in this fragrance. This fragrance has the backbone of vanilla. That's why people call it a vanillic, warm, spicy fragrance. And yeah, people are really right. That's the most obvious thing that comes to my mind when I talk about Layton. That's the most basic scent profile that comes to my mind, but it's fresh as well. So at the dry down, the vanilla is really shining. The main thing that we or any people might smell is vanilla and sandalwood, basically a woody mixture, milky kind of texture, which is really seductive. People do love it. People around you might give you compliments. By the way, this is a compliment monster. I've received a lot of compliments from this fragrance. Everyone in my office loves it, by the way. So it's office safe for sure. It's party safe, it's office safe. It's a really versatile scent that you can wear in any weather, every day, any occasion maybe. But yeah, the only downside to this fragrance I feel is this can't be worn dressed down. Like if I'm wearing a t-shirt and a jeans, this would not look that good. It would look good on sophisticated men, with a nice suit kind of personality, a bossy kind of feeling. If you're going to an event, if you're going to a meeting, if you're going to some wedding, this would be a great fragrance. This is a versatile fragrance. This is an all-round signature fragrance for sure. But the only downside is basically this can't be worn dressed down. You need to dress up to wear this. You need to dress up to pull this. So there are two things. Either you command Layton on how you want it to perform, how you want people to smell it, or Layton commands you. The second thing is really bad. If Layton commands you, it means you're not ready to wear Layton right now. So let's not do it, and let's just dress it up a bit and wear Layton. So as I talked about the versatility, really versatile, 4 seasons, signature scent fragrance. Anyone could rock it. There's no age restriction for Layton. It's a warm, spicy, seductive, fresh perfume. Anyone, even a teenager or even a guy in his 50s can rock it. So it's basically a versatile fragrance. If I talk about the longevity of this fragrance, to me it's around 8 hours, max to max 8 hours. 7 to 8 hours is what I get from this Layton. By the way, my batch is 82% volume batch. If you guys can see it in the camera, there's a 78% volume batch as well, which was basically reformulated in 2023 if I'm not 23 or 24 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So as I was talking, the longevity of this fragrance is around 8 hours on my skin, and on the clothes I can smell it for 15 hours mark. For the first 2 hours it projects like really heavy, really crazy. For the first 30 minutes, as I mentioned, you get a menthol kind of smell, then turns out into an apple lavender kind of feeling, a mix of that. After 1.5 hour mark, it turns a bit flowery, and like after 15 more minutes it develops into a powdery, woody, vanillic type of scent. Basically a combination of sandalwood, cardamom, patchouli and vanilla for sure. So this is basically the overview of what Layton smells like, how Layton makes you feel. It projects heavily on me for the first 2.5 hours. The sillage of this Layton is like really amazing. People would ask you for sure what you guys are wearing, because this is a really unique kind of scent. This you can't get at a cheaper price. Like there are some clones of Layton which are really good, but yeah, this is a DNA which is basically an expensive DNA. You smell expensive when you are wearing Layton. So that's basically what Layton is all about. My only complaint about Layton is the price tag that the Layton comes. This is a really high and expensive fragrance. This is luxury in itself. Parfums De Marly is a brand are really cool. They use like natural ingredients. The quality is top notch. The blending is perfect. The scent profile is really unique. But the price point is my only complaint. By the way, you can find it at discounters at a really good price. Like $180 to $200 is what I would pay for a 125 ml bottle of Layton, and that's the perfect price. That's my safe price. That's the price I feel that's the only price everyone should pay. You should not pay more than $200 for a 125 ml bottle of this. By the way, this is a 75 ml small bottle. There's a 125 ml bottle which is a larger bottle, and yeah. So is it blind buy safe? I get asked this question a lot of times, and I say no, perfume is blind buy safe, to be really honest, because you guys don't know that what a perfume would do to you, how it would suit your personality. You guys don't know that if you would like the perfume or not. The main thing is you need to like the perfume. That's why I always tell people, get a decant first, or go to a store or at a duty free or somewhere and try to sniff Layton. And yeah, if you guys are trying Layton for the very first time, remember that the first 30 minutes would be a bit hard if it's your first sniff. By the way, the Vicks Vapor Rub menthol kind of smell, you get used to it and you really start liking it once you give it 3 or 4 wearing. So that's not a problem at all. So that's how you should try Layton first, and then decide if you guys want to buy it, if it's worth your price. To me, it's worth the discounted price, but not the retail price for sure. So yeah, considering all the aspects of it, if I would have to rate Layton, I would rate it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm not giving it a 10 on 10, or I'm cutting 1.5 marks out of Layton, for the sole reason being that the price, I expect more performance from Layton at the price at which it comes. The second thing is this scent profile is really interesting, but this is versatile for sure. But the only thing is that this to some people might not appeal as much as it appeals to me. The reason being the menthol, not for sure. The first 30 minutes are a bit hard. So that's why I'm cutting the marks off of Layton. Everything else is perfect about this fragrance. This could be a signature fragrance. Any age group can rock it, as I mentioned before, but I see myself wearing, I see anyone wearing Layton whose age group is around 20 to 40, somewhere in between. So yeah, that's what's the sweet spot of age for Layton. And yeah, that's my overall review of Layton. I hope you guys liked it, and if you guys did like it, kindly consider subscribing to my channel. It would really help me. Kindly also share the video if you find it useful. I'll try and be consistent from now. I haven't been consistent, I know, but yeah, sorry for my side. I'll try to be consistent. That's it. Thank you guys.